So on Monday, for those of you that were here, we were inspired, or I was inspired, to share with you the story of Krishna playing his flute and what the flute symbolizes and what it represents. We talked about how the flute's holes represents the five senses, the intellect, the mind, and the ego. We talked about how the reed of the flute is made of bamboo, and you need to clean out the pulp in order for the instrument to be able to play. And that pulp is representative of our stresses, of our tensions, of our fears, of our doubts, of our insecurities, of our ego, things that hold us back from spiritually evolving. There was a story where I shared Krishna asked his devotees, if you could be something held in my hand, what would it be? And they were like, the lotus, because the lotus is purity, creative energy, and transformation. And some people would say, I want to be the chakra. Well, the chakra is an energetic vortex. And then some would say the conch shell, which is about warding off negative energy. And he said, but no one said the flute. And the flute could come up to my lips and I could breathe life into you. And breathing that life into you, I could purify your heart and enlighten your mind. Why didn't you say that? So anyway, we were inspired by that. We did the Krishna pose and we focused on things that tied in with those stories. Today, I want to focus on the word inspired, and I want to focus on the word enthusiasm. Now, if you look at, like we were talking about overriding the ego on Monday, and we talk about the solar plexus being the seat of the ego in the body. This is also where the emotional body dwells. And in Chinese medicine, they pinpoint a lot of emotions to go back with our organs, like anger and resentment for the gallbladder and liver, stress and worry with the spleen and the stomach, fears and doubts with the kidneys, grief with the lungs, things of that nature. So the ego is a good thing at some times, you know, and it can be a negative at other times. But when we're feeling motivated, when we feel the drive, and usually that's kind of forced upon us. Just think about how society is and how inflation keeps rising. It's like we're forced. I mean, a lot of people who are retired are forced back into working because now there's so much inflation. You need to go back to work just to be able to pay the bills, right? And so these institutions that require, money are like forcing us to be motivated with certain types of work. But motivation is separate and apart from inspiration. And I want to explain the difference. Motivation is ego-driven. Inspiration is spirit-driven. And to be inspired means to be in spirit, means you're aligned with spirit. To be inspired also means to breathe life into. Going back to the Krishna thing and going back to even in the Judeo-Christian lineage, the breath of life was put into man. So when we look at the word enthusiasm, it means divinely inspired. And so there are times in our life where we feel really enthused, where we feel really inspired, and there's other times where we just feel motivated to get something done, and it's more goal-oriented. So I wanted to discuss that difference, and my hope for you today is to use your practice to become more enthused and to become more inspired, to be aligned with spirit. And the best way we can do this is through the breath. So that's going to be our focus for today. This also is a good time to do it because I don't know about you, but there's been a lot of, weird energy this summer, it feels like. I know I'm not alone in feeling times where I've been like a little down and depressed, a little unmotivated, or lack of inspiration. There's plenty of people that I've talked to that have been feeling the same way. And I just started getting mine back. It just started coming back. So My hope is that if it's not there for you, that I can help to kind of evoke that through the practice today and call it up. So we're going to start on our bellies in passive crocodile pose. And when you're coming into passive crocodile pose, you're on your abdomen, the front of your legs, your feet are apart, and your arms are going to cross with your chest off the floor. And then you're going to lower your head to the arms. And see if you can relax the shoulders once you've provided this headrest, allowing for a breezeway underneath the arms so that you have space to breathe. And so begin to incorporate some deep yogic breaths. Breathing in a diaphragmatic way so that you feel your belly swelling and growing on the inhale. And retracting on the exhale. Due to this pressure of resting on the belly, you may find that there tends to be more pressure as your belly's expanding and less pressure as your belly's deflating. Now, this is really good for our digestive tract because we're helping to knead the inner organs, like a little internal massage. When we have movement in the belly, when we're breathing this way, it's actually the shifting of the inner organs. And think about what we just said about certain emotions that can get trapped in these tissues. So you're not only improving digestion, you're not only kneading the internal organs, you're helping to soothe some of these emotions and get some of this released. Allow the breath work to help to calm and clear and focus your mind, to help you to connect and ground down into your body. And then as you continue to breathe and as you continue to work into these various poses, even into the relaxation poses at the end, I want you to pay attention to the voice that may come in at different moments. Because here on the mat, we get to discern through the state of mindfulness and with that internal focus, whether or not those voices are ego-driven or spirit-driven. Sometimes there's a voice in the universe helping to remember and remind us of our purpose. Sometimes it's a whisper, sometimes it's a shout, and sometimes it will sing. Now start to activate your breath in a way where it starts to sound like a whisper. So constrict the back of your throat. And allow the breath to become audible to hear. This audible breath being the song of the soul. Your next inhale, go ahead and slide the feet closer together and your hands up underneath your shoulders. push up to a tabletop position. But when you come up to a tabletop position, you're going to immediately inhale, step the right foot forward. And if you feel like you don't have enough room underneath your body to do so, you can bring your blocks under your hands, and that can give you a little bit more space to be able to step through. All right, now really push down heavy through your right foot, draw up to the pelvic floor, and start to elevate the arms up overhead. Pausing here in Anjaneyasana. And as you exhale, bring your palms together, slide them down to your midline, and then drop down through your hips, lunging into that front knee. Okay, inhale, push into the right foot, draw up to the pelvic floor, up through the navel, up through the fingertips. Exhale, hands together and sink back in to the joints. Good, inhale, be a little bit more muscular, pressing and rising. And then exhale, sink back down and in. This time, place your hands to the floor alongside your right foot or to the blocks. Curl the back toes and lift your back knee. Good, once you lift the back knee off the floor, I want you to think about your right leg kind of squeezing in and elongating towards the back of your mat. And then press through your left calf and heel as well. Now drive the heart forward and look out with your eyes. Good, you're gonna hop the left foot, just a baby step forward, plant the heel to the ground, and lift the arms up overhead to warrior one. From Virabhadrasana 1, solidify your feet, keep that front knee bent, elongate the side strips of your body, and then place your palms together, but keep the elbows bent. Now tuck the tailbone and then puff up through your chest, lean your head back just a smidge. Standing backward bend. Affirming here. I am free. I am free. And then lower the hands down. Wiggle the left toes back and sink down to your back knee, shin and foot. All right, pull up to the pelvic floor. Bring your right hand to your waist, your left hand to the right knee, and you're going to twist to the right. Every in-breath, lift through the crown of your head. Every exhale, just center and be here now. Exhale, unwind from that twist. Place your hands back to the floor or blocks, curl the back toes under. You're turning and planting the back foot. You're gonna bring the arms up to warrior two. Your arms are gonna stretch out. Your hips are gonna open up. Your navel is going to draw in and up. Lift the floating ribs. Gaze forward and out through the right hand. Now spin your palms open. And with your palms open, notice how the top arm bone rolls back. You're going to keep that open and you're just going to isolate your right hand and turn it down. And that's going to activate more muscles to the arms. Affirming here, I joyfully manifest the power of my own internal strength. Helicopter the hands down, spin off the back heel, lower the back knee, shift to table. Again, the hands can be on the floor blocks. Step through with your left foot. When you step through with the left foot, ground that foot, push into it so you're firing into your hamstrings. Keep that front knee aligned over the ankle, arms reaching up to frame the face. Chin parallel to the earth and looking at one sedentary spot. All right, exhale, palms together, let them come down towards your heart and you can sink down into the hip joints. And then inhale, we're lifting back up. Exhale, coming back down towards gravity. That little pulsing with the breath. Inhale, draw up. And then exhale, sink in. All right, we're gonna bring the hands down, curl the back toes, pluck up that back knee. Lengthen through both thigh bones. Drive your left thigh back and squeeze the left hip in. It's just a little adjustment, but it makes a big difference. Push back through your right calf and heel, shine out through your heart. Good, when you're ready, hop the right foot just a slight step forward, build the arms up, warrior one. From Virabhadrasana 1, lengthen through the side body, bring the hands together, bend the elbows, soften the shoulders. Drop the tailbone under, puff up through your chest, lean your head back just a bit. Standing backward bend. Affirming, I am free. I am free. All right, you're ready. Gently bring the hands down, spin off the back heel. Lengthen the toes back. Good, turn and press your back foot to the floor. Circle the right arm up, then your left. Virabhadrasana 2. At first, the palms are just down. Look at your left toes. Make sure they're pointing towards the top of the mat. Your left knee's aligned over the ankle, and that you're opening the thigh and hip so that you can see a clear line of the big toe. Draw up through the navel, up to the heart. Now flip your palms open. Keep the upper arms rolled open, just turn solely in your wrist. Isolate your hands. Feeling the difference. All right, exhale. Coming out of warrior 2, spinning off the back heel, landing the back knee. This time we're going to take the twist. So pull up through the pelvic floor, left hand to the waist, right hand to that front knee. Are we already building up this much heat? Or am I having a hot flash?
It's warm in here.
Okay. I can't tell anymore.
No hot yoga, please.
And then exhale, unwind. All right, take your hands down. Bring that left knee back to tabletop. Okay, if you were using blocks, go ahead and come back to your palms. We're gonna curl the toes and launch into downward facing dog. Now make sure your feet aren't open too wide. So bring about 3 to 4 inches in between the big toes. Separate your fingers wide and let your head bow between the arms. And I hear no breath, so hopefully you're breathing. If you want to bring in that whispering breath, that Ujjayi breath, it can be quite soothing to the soul. If you'd rather do diaphragmatic breathing to stay more relaxed, that's okay. That breath is much quieter. Usually no sound at all. Now on your next in-breath, let's go ahead and come forward to plank. Streamline your body here and lower your left knee. Shift your foot off the mat. When you're ready, you're gonna pick up your right limbs and you're gonna stack and roll open. It's kind of like a modified half moon. If your right foot is lifted and you were sore in your quads from Monday, bring that right foot back towards the buttocks. Take your right hand to hold the foot and you're squeezing the heel towards your body. So yeah, sometimes we do a back bend, but here we're just doing the quad stretch. Heel squeezing in towards you. Now, if you weren't here Monday and you don't need the quad stretch, do the back bend if you prefer. I need the quad stretch. All right, inhale, let's Separate the limbs. Good, bring the right foot down, your right hand down, and lift your left knee, step back. Again, building a little bit more strength. Building some bone density as we support our own weight. Dan doesn't really have to worry about it, but tends to show up more in women. All right, let's lower the right knee. Cross the foot off the mat. Open up the left limbs. Sometimes this is considered like a side plank. It's very similar to Ardha Chandrasana half moon. If you want to incorporate the quad stretch, you can take your left hand behind your back, find your left foot, and squeeze it towards you. If you want to open up that left shoulder and create more of a back bend, you're welcome to go there. If you just need to hover and hold your balance, or if you need your left foot to go back down, that's okay. Personalize your practice. Don't let the ego motivate you to do anything you're not ready for. All right, inhale, separate the limbs. Exhale, descend your left hand, left foot, and then pick up your right knee and step back with your right foot, plank. All right, shift forward with your feet so your shoulders go past your wrists, and then gently lower, 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 all the way down. All right, come to your brow. Lengthen your leg bone back. Slide your hands out to the wood floor. Rest on your finger pads, cup your hands, and elevate the elbows towards the ceiling. And then inhale, come up like a king cobra with its neck wings spread. Hold and breathe. Rising up deliberately and fearlessly. Rising up, inspired and enthused. Exhale, gently lower down. Slip your hands up underneath your shoulders. Push up to all fours. And come back to those same hands, the cupped hands. And then press your hips back towards your heels. Drape over your legs. Your head may actually hover here, and that's okay. Look at this, it's kind of like piano hands. Let your breath be the music. Good, now spill down to the palms, to the wrists. Rock back up, hands and knees. Exhale, curl the toes and return to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. All right, from our downward facing dog, let's just take a cleansing breath here. Breathe in through your nose, out through the mouth. Good, now travel the feet forward, baby stepping, lifting the hands along the way until you're rolling over into a standing forward fold. Feet side by side, leg bones stacking. The knees are lifting, the quads are lifting, the navel's lifting. Upper body's collapsing. Neck is loosening. And affirming nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. I choose to be aligned to spirit. I choose to remain inspired. So on your next inhale, root down to the soles of the feet, sweep the arms to your sides and up. Come to upward worship at the top. And then exhale, bring hands down. All right, you may want your blocks for this. We're gonna turn towards the dark painted wall today. So Sharon, you're gonna be in the lead. Your legs are gonna separate at least 3 to 4 feet. Okay. So your feet can be pointed straight towards the wall or slightly towards each other. Okay. Lift up through your chest, and as you exhale, start to hinge forward. Keep an elongated spine, and your hands can go under your shoulders. And then you can determine with the blocks what height they need to be, or if you need them at all, okay? Now you can choose to be here, which is keeping the head more or less in line with the heart, where it's not as much of a blood rush to the head or to the eyes or mouth. Remember, if you have dentistry work, if you have certain eye work, if you have certain things like Botox or fillers in your face, you shouldn't be inverting. If you have vertigo today, you shouldn't be dropping the head any lower. But if you're good in all those departments, go ahead and travel your hands back and continue to fold if your body allows. Breathe. Prasarita Padottanasana. This is really good for the first two chakras because we're building the strength through the legs. We're hinging forward from the hips. But it's also really good for those upper three chakras because the head is bowing. We're opening up that passageway of the neck to bring things from the heart through the throat to the matters of spirit and the third eye and the crown. Now on your next inhale, you're going to walk your hands forward again, and you can be stacked on the floor, or you can return to being stacked on blocks. We're going to take a twist. We're going to open up the right hand and sweep it up towards the heavens above. Now you are pushing your thighs and hips back. At the same time, you're drawing your heart and crown forward. Good, exhale, lower that hand. Inhale, take the left arm and circle it out and up towards the sky. When you're ready, exhale, lower it back down. Good, now grip your feet into the sticky mat, take the hands and carry the blocks with you if you need them, and then go ahead and come up. All right, you're gonna turn your right foot back towards the front of the room, and you're gonna step up. All right, your blocks are gonna go ahead of your feet in case you need them. You may or may not need them. We're gonna step back with the right foot, and we're gonna fly the arms up overhead. We're gonna move towards warrior three. And so the reason why I put the blocks there is if your balance is unsturdy here or here, boom, you can lay on the hands and you can use them for stability. Okay, so they're there as a crutch if you need it. When you're ready, hinge forward from your hips. And you can be at an angle. But if you have the flexibility in your hips and hamstrings, you might be able to go more parallel to the floor. Since you have the blocks there, go ahead and land your hands. Feel it here with your right leg pushing out. And then as you exhale, bend both knees and kind of scrunch in. And then inhale, push to the left foot, reach out through the right foot, create that L-shaped formation. Good, exhale, scrunch in. Again, inhale, press back. Last one, exhale, curl in. Good, now land your right foot beside your left. Good, bring the back of your hands alongside your feet. You're doubled over with a very generous bend in the knees. It's like a standing form of child's pose. Now, this is really important to come up safely, especially for you guys feeling some back stuff today. Please use the strength of your legs and the strength of your core to roll up. So power down through the feet. Ignite your quads. Squeeze the belly in and roll it up one vertebra at a time.
Air. Left foot back. Arms slide over. When you're ready, exhale. If you're here, you're in the pose. So you can be in a diagonal line, or you can continue to finish. Warrior 3. All right, bring the hands down to the block, secure your balance. Back to your breath. And then bend the knees, curl in. Inhale, split open. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, create those long linear lines. Exhale, curl in. Beautiful, last one. Good, lower the left foot. Bend both knees, remove the hands from the blocks. Come back to that standing form of child. And then feel free to use your blocks for balance here, because we're going to lift the heels off the mat. And we're going to balance on the toes. And then come to toe balance, where we're erecting the spine. And maybe frame up the hands. You can also challenge your balance by lifting the arms higher overhead. Exhale, let the arms spray around you. And you can use one or the other to slowly rock back to the floor. Feet together. Lift the chest. Okay, so when the feet come together, you also want to peel the big toe mounds away from each other. So use your thumbs to kind of open out the feet. The outer edges stay connected, and feel how your hips drop a little more. Now lift up through the chest and exhale, start to pour down over the feet. And then I want you to draw a line, an imaginary line from your pubic bone to your navel, and just zip up through that area. And do the same thing from your navel into your heart. From your heart to your chin. So your neck staying in line with your spine. Feeling the work of the inner thighs. Bringing circulation to the reproductive organs, to those glands, the ovaries and the testes. Affirming here. Secure myself. I accept vulnerability. Slow. Yep. Take your hands under your knees, pull them back together. All right, we're gonna do one more active pose and then we're gonna restore. Left leg's gonna shoot out. And then the right knee is gonna open up. Now this is where I thought about using a strap, but I don't think we're gonna use a strap. So basically what I want you to do is circle that right arm behind your back. And not only bring it behind your back, but slide it over. Okay. And once you wrap it and slide it, lift your left arm, flex your left foot. We always think we have to fold, but there's a lot happening here, right? So there was a period right after I closed the half moon, the beginning of the pandemic, and then I moved over to teach at the hot room. Well, my back was really messed up. It was energetic, it was emotional from all the change. I couldn't fold forward. This had to be the pose. And there's a lot happening here. But think about how we often just are goal oriented and we could be missing out on something along the way. Right, now if we want to fold, let's test it out. Fold, but keep that arm wrapped behind your back. And traditionally, you're looking out towards the toes, but if that's too much for your neck for any reason, you can look down. Inhale, keep your right arm bound, but bring your left hand over to your knee. Good, now release the right arm, free it up. And then you're gonna curve over to the straight leg. So it's more of a, it's a twist slash side bend slash forward fold. In yoga teacher training, Sharon's been with me during that. You have to break up the poses, like there's standing poses, there's seated poses, there are inverted poses, there's twisting poses, there's forward folds, there's back bends. But then you have some like this, it's a little bit of blend of many. All right, inhale, come up. When you come up, stay in the twist. Stand on the right hand behind you and gaze over the right shoulder. Good, now gently unwind. Pick up that right knee, slide that right leg out, bend your left knee in, and then open it out. Okay, do that same sequence. So the left arm will cross behind you and then slide across your back. Then the right arm's to the left. And we usually go right into it, but I want you to stay here for a moment. Because there are those times and moments when we're holding certain things in our body, when we're going through some massive changes, and we have to listen. That's to be inspired, that's to be in spirit. And just drop the ego of what you could do or what you think you should be doing or being goal-oriented. If you want to fold, let's go ahead and take this opportunity. All right, inhale is going to sit us up and cross the right hand to the bent knee. We'll free up the left arm, shine it overhead on the in-breath, and then exhale, curve to the side. We're going to stay in the twist. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower the left hand behind your back. Twist a little more if anything's available. And exhale, remove the hands at the more. All right, that's the end of the active portion. I want you to find your bolster. Bring it in front of you, and you'll want, I should have told you to grab 2 blankets if you use one for your head. I'll bring you other blankets if you need it, because I want you to use this one for your legs. So we're actually going to prop the legs on top. And to keep the legs bound together, we're going to take and tuck it under. Now, what I do when I roll back, you don't have to do this, but I like to do it. I hold on to the bolster and I kind of slide it with me as I roll back. And then I separate the hands. So now please let me know. Do you need a second blanket for your head? Yes. Anyone else? Yes. Anybody else besides Lynn and Lily? Okay. Done the overhead lights. While I'm doing that, and I'm over here at the washcloths, does anybody want a towel for the eyes? Okay. Yes.
So consider the active portion we've done where we needed to engage the muscles, where we were releasing into the joints. Sensation that we were experiencing. Now you just get to mold into a shape. And you get to surrender completely. You get to relax the muscles. The bones get heavy. Allow your mind to get a little quieter. Your mind gets quieter. Pay attention to the voices that may hear. A whisper, a song, or even loud. Maybe that's the universe calling to you. Discerning the difference between the ego and spirit. So just casually kind of roll your legs off to the right. And push down into your left palm. Come on. Take those down into Stonehenge next. By the way, I have to share this with you. Did you know that at Stonehenge, there's mounds or hills located around it? And they have found within the mounds are burials of a woman in those mounds, just one woman. So it shows that it was a women's circle, right? Oh, that's cool. We're gonna take the two blocks. Bolster on top. And the legs over that. Now the blanket could be under your head, or the way you wrapped it over your legs, you could actually wrap it over your belly and tuck it in at your waist. And that can be really grounding. So if you've been too much in your head lately, I would suggest that because it feels really good. Yes, people really like it this way. It's nice. And of course, if you want your towel back over your eyes, you can add that in. And I'm gonna move yours a little closer. See how your knees are kind of hanging out in the air? I'm just gonna walk it to you a little bit. Lift your legs one more time. Can you lift it? There. Now. Yes, just lean a little bit. Lean out or something. Being inspired and full of enthusiasm helps us to experience joy, connection, creative juices, and purpose. Because it's directing and aligning us to what is calling specifically to us, regardless of outcomes, regardless of goals. And sometimes it takes us into uncharted waters. So embrace the adventure of life. And embrace this moment where you can go on your own inner quest. And let your breath take you into that state of bliss.
Back to observe your breath.
And deepen its flow.
Once you bring the breath back under your command, bring some movement to your hands and feet. Maybe even stretching the arms overhead as you inhale and drawing the knees in, hugging them on the exhale. Swaying gently on your back from side to side. If you want to cater to the liver, roll to the left. If you want to cater to the heart, roll to the right. And then come up to take a formal seat. Just checking in to see how you feel now compared to the beginning of practice. And remember as you depart to pay attention and to stay open to see what can inspire you. Drawing your hands together to prayer position at your heart. The light, the love, the truth that I hold within my heart. I bow with deep respect to the love, to the light, to the truth that you hold within yours. Namaste. Namaste. I hope it's what we needed.
Thank you. Great.